In 1950, a businessman forgot his wallet at a restaurant. That embarrassing moment became the most profitable trap in banking history, and it was designed, deliberately, to work against you. I spent weeks studying the original Diners Club documents, the Federal Reserve's own data, and the psychological research banks have been using for 70 years. What I found is not in any textbook. In this video, how the credit card was invented, the exact psychological mechanism that makes you spend 30% more every time you use one, and the one thing your bank hopes you never calculate. And no, this isn't about cutting up your cards, whether you pay your balance every month or carry debt. What you're about to see changes how you think about every purchase. Let's go. New York, February 8, 1950. Frank McNamara, a credit company executive, is having dinner at Major's Cabin Grill. When the bill arrives, he reaches for his wallet. It's not there, he left it at home. His wife has to pay. McNamara is humiliated, but on the drive back, he has an idea. What if you could pay at any restaurant, anywhere, with a single card? Not a store card, not a bank card, a universal card, a card that says you don't need money to spend money. 2 months later, Diners Club issues 200 cards to New York businessmen. By the end of 1950, those 200 cards are being used at 27 restaurants. By 1951, the number climbs to 20,000 cardholders. Here's what everyone tells you next. And that's how convenient modern payments were born. Here's what nobody tells you. McNamara didn't invent the credit card because he forgot his wallet. He invented it because he ran a company that lent money to people who couldn't repay other loans. The credit card wasn't designed for your convenience. It was designed to solve his problem. The problem of how to get people to spend money they don't have and keep them paying interest on it forever. That's the origin story. But the real engineering, the part that made this the most profitable financial product ever created, that comes next. And it starts with a discovery about your brain that happened entirely by accident. In the 1970s, a researcher at MIT named Drazen Prelek ran an experiment. He put 2 groups of people in a room and asked them to bid on tickets to a sold-out basketball game. Group A paid with cash. Group B paid with a credit card. The credit card group bid, on average, twice as much. Same people, same tickets, same game. The only difference was the payment method. Prelek called this the credit card premium. The pain of paying disappears when you don't see the money leave your hands. Your brain processes cash as a loss. A card, it barely registers. Banks knew this before Prelek published his paper. They knew it because they observed it. American Express noticed in the 1960s that merchants who accepted their card saw customers spend more per transaction. They didn't tell the merchants why. They raised their merchant fees instead. Today, this mechanism has a name, the decoupling effect. The moment of purchase and the moment of payment are separated. Your brain can't calculate the true cost in real time. And here's where it gets personal. The average American credit card balance right now is $6,501 at a 24% APR, which is the current average. If you make only minimum payments, you will spend 17 years paying that off and pay $8,200 in interest on $6,501 of purchases. They didn't make the minimum payment small as a courtesy. They made it small because the math is devastating for you and extraordinary for them. Now you know the origin and the mechanism, but there's a third piece, one that explains why this system has never been reformed, despite decades of consumer protection laws. It involves a 1978 Supreme Court decision that most Americans have never heard of. And it's the reason your card charges 28% when the Federal Reserve rate is 5%. In 1978, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on a case called Marquette National Bank versus First Omaha Service Corporation. The ruling was simple. A bank can charge the interest rate of the state it's headquartered in, not the state where the customer lives. Most people heard about that and moved on. Banks heard about it and immediately relocated to South Dakota and Delaware. Why? Because South Dakota had no usury cap, no limit on how much interest a bank could charge. Within a year, Citibank moved its entire credit card division to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Within a decade, every major bank had followed, and that is why your credit card can legally charge you 29.99%. It's not market forces, it's not inflation, it's not your credit score, it's a 1978 court ruling that removed the legal ceiling. and a political system that has never put it back. Now, does this mean you should never use a credit card? No, the credit card is a tool. Like any tool, it depends entirely on who's holding it and how. Used correctly, paid in full every month, bonuses claimed, fraud protection used, it's one of the few financial products that genuinely works in your favor. But correctly means understanding what the default is designed to produce. The default is minimum payments, revolving balance, 29% APR, 17 years of debt. That's not a bug, that's the product. The 1950 dinner was embarrassing for Frank McNamara. The trillion-dollar industry that came out of it? That was the plan all along. If this video made you angry, good. The next one will show you exactly what the banks don't want you to do with that anger. Subscribe, and I'll see you there.